Are you sitting comfortably? Then we'll begin.
'Hello to everyone out there. This is the AFTN podcast, episode 209. My name is Steve Pander.
And I'm Zachary Adam Eisenheimer.
And we're coming to you from UBC Thunderbird Stadium, where we saw the WFC2 team lose 1-0 to Swope Park. They missed a lot of chances. The WFC2 could have easily won. But we're not here to talk about them. We're here to talk about a team that took advantage of their one chance, got a result in an important game. Canada versus Costa Rica, 1-1 Tuesday night.
Yeah, a really encouraging result, going up against a strong Costa Rican side. Obviously not their World Cup qualifying side, missing guys like Bola and Kendall and I think one or two others. But I think Canada can be proud of both of the performance and the result, and a lot of encouraging signs.
Yeah, Costa Rica did come out early in the game, but it was let's get right to the goal. Alphonso Davies scoring once again, third goal in 3 caps. Third goal in the Gold Cup. He's halfway to beating De Rosario's record for most goals by Canadian Gold Cup. That goal, nice build-up, involved a lot of players, and I know a lot of people are going to say Arfield had a lot of vision. I think he was just putting it in a spot. I think Alfonso had the vision and the acceleration to get to that ball.
Yeah, 10 passes in the build-up, and one was a little bit of a miss. And
it was a knockoff, but it still came to.
Yeah, 10 passes, nice build-up.
7 players.
Yeah, I would actually disagree with the. I think Terry Dunfield at halftime was talking about that. Like, it was just a kind of a hopeful ball, put the ball in a dangerous spot. I don't know if he's meaning to pick out Alfonso for sure, but I think he sees where Alfonso is and he puts it in a place where he thinks he can get it. I think.
Yeah.
When I watch it, it doesn't look like, oh, this is kind of hopeful. Like, it looked to me, it looked like there was an intent from Scotty on that. And again, another goal he set up, another goal he helped create, and just in like a quality run. Again, you see Alfonso's pace and acceleration, and just again his football IQ.
He sees it coming, and then he just makes the run for it.
And he just blows by the defender, and just easily finishes. And so it was just awesome and so encouraging.
The thing is, Arfield, that's probably something he intends to do in a normal game. In the past, Canada would not. Nobody on the Canadian team would have made that run. That's the thing. That's where I think that Dunfield's probably thinking it's a hopeful ball because he doesn't expect that to come from a Canadian team.
Yeah, you're right. It might have been hopeful in Dunfield's error for Canada. No offense, Terry, but but it was very encouraging. Early lead. You also Alfonso's celebration in honor. His corner flag kick in honor of Giles Barnes. It was a great start to the. After giving up some chances, a great start to the match for Canada. Yeah, and I thought
Canada also, they didn't have any shots on goal except for that one that they scored on. But they created chances. Like, for example, in the first half, Vittora's header in the box, and that if he just got a little bit, he kind of backed off the defender, so it made it a little bit more difficult. But I thought that was a good chance. They had a couple of chances in the second half late to even win the game. But they were definitely outshot 10-1 in that game by Costa Rica, who... Obviously, I think rightfully so, the player of the game was Milan Borjan.
Yeah, I think Borjan had mostly a good game, and was worth that individual honor. But Costa Rica, did create some problems for Canada, and their goal came from, I think, something that is really avoidable, because it was a set piece, it was a corner, And it appeared like a couple things happened. One, it appears as though Francisco Calvo is. It looks like there's maybe some zonal marking, or there's some part zonal, part man marking happening.
Well, Sam had him. Sam had a man on man. He lost him coming around the corner on a pick.
Okay.
I noticed that. But then I think Vitora was supposed to be, like, he was almost zonal.
Yeah, so Sam was man and he was zonal.
Yeah, so, and I think the thing is with Calvo is not only did he score there, he had a free header earlier, and then he had one, I think, late in the game, too. Right. So he had, like, 3 times where he could have scored on that.
Yeah, and so that was the one problem, is the breakdown in the marking. The second problem is no one is on the back post. There's no player on the back post. If there's a player on the back post, there's almost zero chance that goes in.
Yeah.
And so that was incredibly frustrating. But obviously, for whatever reason, that was their plan, not to have people on the post. So they paid for it there. Calvo, of course, this is not this is the most recent time we've seen on him scored a back post header. He scored against the Whitecaps for Minnesota on
just a couple weeks ago.
An unfortunate header that I think David Osted, has had a nightmare or two about, because I don't think he feels good about how that one got past him. But this one was a little more powerful, a little more. I don't think Borjan had much of a chance, but again, a player in the post, I think, heads that away, no problem.
Let's talk about some of the other players that stood out to you. Obviously, Davies is going to be everybody was talking about him. Born was named man of the match. I thought a player that really played well was Mark Anthony Kay. He plays for Louisville. He's a TFC
reject
product. He's basically part of the residency, and they didn't sign him, which baffles me right now, because I thought he played fantastic. And I think Osorio's on the team, and he started ahead of him.
Yeah, when the lineup came out and there were so many changes, it was a little bit...
3 in total, I think.
Was it only 3?
I think it was 3.
It felt like way more. But with the changes, I guess it was key. I guess it was, when you had him coming in for Bernier in the middle... and then you had Jackson coming in for Cavallini, who I thought played so well in the first game. It was, and then I guess the other one was Marcel at left back, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it felt like with the changes, it was a little bit. I was like, okay, are we going to see the same kind of intensity we saw in the first game, the same kind of drive, the same kind of, because things seemed to fall apart a little bit when both Milan and Patrice came off.
Yeah. Just
for a moment, and then they kind of got back on track. But so I was a little bit anxious to see what this would look like. But I thought it was good to see, again, a bit of a different mix of players. Kind of, work to get the job done. In terms of other key players, I felt like Junior had a pretty good game, but I also feel like the dude needs to score. The dude needs to or set up more goals. Cause
the thing is it's weird. His presence on the pitch seems to really give him confidence, but he never seems to be involved in the goals. Yeah. He always seems to be hovering around it, but he never has like that one touch or whatever to get that finish. Or he does get the touch, but nobody finishes for him.
Yeah, and that's something he is contributing. I think the opposition has to be aware of him and has to be conscious of how he plays and what he brings. But ultimately, the fruit of it has been very little so far. But hopefully that'll turn around even in this Gold Cup.
How do you feel the fullbacks played? Like, I thought they really brought something to it. Like, Petrasso obviously was involved in the goal.
Yep.
I thought Sam Adekubi, I thought he displayed good. He settled down. They seem to be really attacking that side more too.
Yeah.
I think maybe there are stronger attackers around that side, but I thought his man got away a few times, but overall I thought he played well.
Yeah, I thought both Petrasso and Sam played well. I think with Sam, part of it is the dude's like fighting for his life, right? He's playing for a contract. Like he's under contract in Vancouver, but he wants to be in Europe. Like he's made that publicly clear, and everyone understands that. And so he wants to perform well in this so that he can get his next contract overseas. So I thought he played well. I thought he contributed, and again, for the most part, even the corner kick that led to the goal. He tried to defend the shot, help defend the shot that led to that. Fairly well. I think he did okay. I think he'll be happy, and I think he'll be hoping to get into the match on Friday.
For sure. So another thing we should talk about is the coach himself, Octavio Zambrano, and what he brought to the game. He talked before the game about how he felt Canada should have a belief that they could win. They didn't come out with a win. They came out with a draw, but I felt like they didn't lack anything for trying for the win.
Yeah, and it's nice to have a coach that it seems like the players are believing in. Not that they didn't believe in Floro at first, but it seems like
there was a disconnect at one point.
There was a disconnect, I think, later on, as things progressed, and so far this is a good beginning. I think too he's playing in a way that maybe suits the players better. The options that he's brought in. I think how he's playing them in this 4-3-3. I think was it
4-1-4-1 yesterday, wasn't it, or a little bit? It looked like it to me. It
on TV they always describe it as a 4-3-3.
It was so fluid though; it was hard to tell.
Yeah, but so I think he's trying to put round pegs in round holes. You know what I mean? And so I think that's been really helpful, and I think too he's encouraging the play with a very Canadian mentality.
So that wraps up our thoughts on Tuesday night's game. So before we talk about the upcoming Honduras game, let's hear from the coach, Octavio Zambrano, who talked in a scrum after the game. So we'll listen to Zambrano, man of the match, Milan Borjan, and Junior Hoilett.
Octavio, a 1-1 draw here against Costa Rica. What are your thoughts after that game?
Well, we are, halfway through, and I think, this point puts us in a very good position. In the end, it wasn't a victory; it was a draw. But we will take it. We can ask for more. We're still in first place in our group. And that means a lot for us right now as we look to our third match.
Put your faith in a lot of young players tonight. Sam Adekubi, Mark Anthony Kay coming into the lineup. How did you think they performed?
I think they both performed well. You can see that there is potential for more, and that is the exciting part about them, is that as well as they did, and obviously they made their mistakes because it's part of the learning curve. What I take from it is what can be, how good they can be, and I think their ceiling is quite high, both of them. So it's just a matter of now ourselves and the clubs where they perform to put the effort to keep developing these two young players that are very good. Not only them, I mean, Petrasso played, I thought, a good game, and I don't want to leave anybody out. I think it was, in the end, we grind out a draw, and sometimes you got to grind out the results.
It was another eventful night for Alfonso, obviously scoring the goal, but then getting injured in the second half. Thoughts on his performance, and do you have an update on how Alfonso is at this time?
He's going to be okay. That's the important thing. These are bruises and knocks that you get when you play this type of games, and he's a young guy, but he's very strong. I think he can withstand enough so that he will be ready for next match. Now, whether we decide to put him in right from the start or we rotate the guys a little bit more, I know that all of them are eager to play, and we have some fresh legs, and we may just opt to keep him out and see how the game evolves and put him in if needed.
Man of the match today. You have fun out there today? Yeah.
Oh, wow, thank you. Yeah, it was fun. It's always fun when you play for Canada. I mean, I love coming for the trips, and I love playing. So I'm really, really positive about the whole camp and the whole Gold Cup. I think we're going to make something this Gold Cup with a new coach, which is amazing coach, which gives the guys the confidence, gives the spirit for the game. So it's really good.
Plenty of saves tonight, but were your defenders able to make it so that you could see a lot of the shots coming your way?
Yeah, defenders did a very good job. We received that one goal from the corner kick. That's the whole team's fault. That's how I look at it. It's not one guy, something like that. It's the whole team. We gotta do that. We gotta do a better job on that. But we're gonna get ready for the next game and try to beat Honduras and get the first position in the group.
You're in first place right now. That's not something that Canada's experienced too much over recent years. Do you find the team is getting together more and more and tighter group as games go by?
I mean, the coach, Zambrano, brought a lot of new guys here, young guys who want to show off, who wanna fight. you know, so the team is fighting. Like I said, he put the spirit into this team. He gave us the confidence, and this is most important, you know. And he wants us to play more offensively. So I think we're doing a very good job learning from him, you know. And we're taking every game at a time. And I think this game we showed that we have the future here.
Everybody fought for each other like we did in the first game. And you can see the group we have here. We play well together. We go through thick and thin for each other. We run an extra yard for each other, and it shows on the pitch. I think a couple years ago we would have ended up losing that game, but you can see the fight we have and the ability we have to create chances.
Yeah, the coach talks about how the team must learn to manage close games, and you allude to it there. What has changed in just 2 games of this Gold Cup compared to perhaps previous editions?
I think the players were confident. You can see we work hard in training to be organized, and we work hard off the field in the video room to be organized as well. So I think the players are confident. We have the ability to relieve pressure going forward. It helps the defense as well. And we're not just hanging on, we're there to win as well. So we can see we had chances to win the game, and we end up settling with a point.
So that was Junior talking there about how, like he kind of mentioned what we were talking about how in the past this team might not have got that point out of that game, so it was good. Now looking forward, obviously we're going to be playing Honduras, dreaded Honduras, and they coming off a result of a 0-0 for now. We're not sure how that result's going to go, because as a lot of people know, French Guiana played ineligible player Malouda, who had given a cap by France. So we're not sure exactly what's going to happen. If the game is completely abandoned, it'll be 3-0. If it doesn't happen, then we'll see what we'll see what the results are at that point. But I know it's another thing. What do you make of this French Guiana situation? Like, what should the punishment be for them? Should they even be ever allowed in the Gold Cup again?
It's like hard to comprehend how such a situation like gets to this point, right? Like it's. I mean, we all know who Florent Malouda is, but like him being eligible, you know, he's played for France, cap tied, whatever for France. How is he allowed to be registered for the tournament is like one issue. Like, who let that happen? Who at CONCACAF allowed that to happen? Why did they allow it to happen? You know, it doesn't make any sense. And then, okay, it's happened, and then it's determined that he's not allowed to play. They don't play him against Canada because they've been told they're going to forfeit the match. But then they put him in the next game, and no one stops them. No one says, "Hey, by the way, this guy's like." It's hard to comprehend how it's been allowed to get to this stage. Now, where it's going to overturn a match that's already going to be played, and presumably, unless they're punished drastically before Friday's match, they're gonna allow.
Well, they said 48 hours or something. They're gonna come up with something in 48 hours, which I don't think will be enough time.
Well, that's the thing, though. Is like, why is this having to come up in 48? Like, why was this not worked out ahead of time?
Yeah,
you know, like it doesn't make any sense, and it's just like it's a bit of a stain on CONCACAF, right? And I feel bad.
What else is new?
No, usually I'd say, who cares? It's CONCACAF.
Yeah.
But now CONCACAF is run by Victor Montaliani.
Yeah, and
I have a lot of respect for Victor Montaliani, and he's representing Canada in his role, and so you want the image of CONCACAF to change in his time, and maybe this is an early stumbling block or an early hiccup in that or whatever, but like it's unacceptable. Like this should not be happening at this level of football, and there should be consequences of this, not just for French Guiana, but for whoever inside like said, "Oh yeah, this is okay," or "Oh yeah, we'll deal with this later." "Oh yeah, we'll make a decision 48 hours later." Like that's not good enough, and there should be consequences for that.
Maybe this will show Victor who he needs to get rid of, and show who, because obviously it's fallen on him, but there are people lower than him that should have been dealt with this faster.
Yeah, and ultimately, punishment-wise, you can dock them. You know, they tied a game 0-0. taking away 3 points or whatever, giving them a 3-0 loss is not a big deal.
Yeah.
I think the punishment needs to be monetary.
Yeah, I think so too. Maybe just take their prize money or whatever.
Well, if you hurt the FA financially, they won't try and pull this kind of thing in the future.
And the thing is the concern is for everybody. Well, a lot of people is if they do this abandonment where it's 3-0, might be for all 3 teams. All 3 matches,
and then Alfonso could lose his goals.
His 2 goals, which would be
awful. And then the other thing is, CONCACAF probably feels a little hamstrung because they probably don't want to stop them from playing their last game if they're going to play Maluda again, because they've already sold tickets to a doubleheader.
Exactly.
And then they're going to face frustration or request for refund or whatever.
And all those upset Chelsea fans too that want to watch them.
There you go.
So let's get back to the game. Right now, Canada is at the top of the group with 4 points. How do you feel they're going to approach this match against Honduras? Do you think they go for the win? Obviously, everybody goes for a win, but do you think there's more strategy to do that?
I've listened to some people talk about, what is the best case scenario in terms of who Canada would play in the quarterfinals, potentially and where they finish, and then the semifinals as well, and what is the better matchup and all that kind of stuff. You want to avoid Mexico to the final, blah, blah, blah. You know what?
I don't think they have a choice. I think getting out of the group is the most important thing.
Right. And I think trying to win beyond it's a game we need to win, like the emphasis on going out and trying to beat Honduras in this competition is hugely important. You look back on the first World Cup qualifier, at BC Place in the last round of World Cup qualifying. It wasn't the most beautiful game, and the goal was awkward.
Yeah.
But we won 1-0, and it was a huge momentum builder or starter for the side in that ultimately unsuccessful campaign. But it was a huge thing to beat Honduras, right? Yeah. Because in the previous World Cup qualifying campaign, a draw at home. Yeah. A draw at home was the reason why we didn't go through.
Yeah, exactly. Because the 8-1 loss, a lot of people, that's the one that stands out.
Yes.
But it was that draw at home. Yeah. If they got that 3 points, it would have been a different story.
And so playing Honduras in a competitive match like this is something we need to get a result here. We need to go for the win here.
Yeah, for sure.
And so they have not had good results so far. If you watch the game against French Guyana, they're
still scoreless. They haven't scored yet.
Yeah, it was not a good football match. Yeah. It was not good. And I don't know if that's partly because they were like,
who cares?
Yeah, they're playing an eligible player. We think we know what's going to happen here. Yeah. But it was just not a quality match, and they did not play well. Even, their better players like Romel Kyoto and Elise, or Ellis, as Michael would call him.
Yeah. I think I called him that too.
Yeah. So they have some dangerous players that we know about, but they're not in good form, and I think Canada really needs to take advantage of that.
And the thing is right now with the 4 points, the Canada's basically it'd be very difficult for them to miss the knockout stage at this point, and so but they might as well go for the win and play their, maybe not even, they could rest people, but the people on the pitch, the players on the pitch, need to go for that win.
Yeah, I don't know. See, that's the thing. They cannot get trapped in that mentality of, we already have 4 points.
Yeah.
It looks like we're going to qualify no matter what happens here. You can't get caught up in that match. I also don't think you should be resting players for the sake of resting players. I think in a tournament like this, yes, there might be 1 or 2 players or whatever that you want to have a look at someone in maybe a tactical variation, or you want to have one player come in who will provide one different characteristic in a certain position. That's fine. But I don't think they can be like, let's rest 2 or 3 guys. Yeah. Let's rest them because we're worried about the quarterfinal. I think there's in these kind of tournaments, it's about building momentum.
Yeah.
And they're so short and so quick. So as a player, you be ready to play every 3 or 4 days, and I think all the players are in that kind of form, in that kind of condition, and so they need to, I think, put a solid side on the field, and they need to go for the 3 points.
Yeah, the thing is, the Zambrano told it was mentioned in the broadcast yesterday that he wants to put out the strongest lineup, but he needs to see what other players can do. And at this point, he has no choice. He has to, like, for example, putting a Sam Ndekubi in for a more veteran Marcel de Jong. You have to do that because you have to see what Sam can bring. Obviously, one player who there's a chance he'll start, but I think they'll probably be careful with him is Alfonso. He took a knock. He had to be subbed off. Zambrano in that audio said he was fine. It was just a normal knock that you get on the pitch. Do you think he starts again, or do you think they're careful with him?
I think he's going to start. Yeah. And I hope he starts. I hope, again, with him, I also think the momentum, don't stop the momentum, right? Yeah. Like, let it roll, let it ride. And he's in such great form. I think it would be a mistake not to start him.
Do you think we see a lineup similar to French Guiana, or do you think we see yesterday's lineup, or do you think it's going to be a mixture?
I think it's probably going to be closer to the lineup of the first match, but with maybe one or two changes, not 3 or 4.
Okay. So overall, what do you think your prediction for that game?
I'm not really good with the predictions. I hope Canada wins, like 3-1, 4-1.
I think they'll win 2-1. I go down for 2-1 because I do agree with you. I think Honduras will finally get a goal, but I don't think they're going to be able to slow down Canada's momentum at this point. I think it's too strong right now, and I think they're getting stronger at the back. And they'll be, if they're able to even clean up the errors they had against Costa Rica, I think they can pull out a 2-1 victory. So that'll be it for us today. It was a quick episode. We just wanted to quickly talk about Canada and get in and get out. Where can everybody find you online?
Online, it's Zachary AM, and I'm part of the Movement Curva Collective.
And you can find myself at Whitecaps Beat. You can find all the AFTN stuff at aftn.ca. You can follow Michael, AFTN Canada, on Twitter. And of course, this episode, as always, is brought to you by bcsoccer.web, where you can find all your local, national, and international news, and with links as well. So that'll be it for us from UBC Thunderbird Stadium.
Take care and allez les rouges.
One day, I shall come back. Yes, I shall come back. Until then, there must be no regrets, no tears, no anxieties. Just go forward in all your beliefs and prove to me that I am not mistaken in mine.